Hello, welcome back to Seawolf's Den. This is part 2 of the final faction crafts I was doing. I never got around to really working on the gate, and now I have a reason to have a gate in one of those games that I'm running. So I'm going to take a couple of pieces of packing foam and try to build around it. My plan is not only to have the gate in stone somewhere, but now I want to have these hands kind of bookending it somehow and just glue them in. And these are Halloween hands that I've been wanting to do in that fashion. I've been wanting to build like a ruin with skeletal hands coming out of the ground. I got these wire cutters off a auction that was basically Amazon returns. That's what I'm going to use. First, we're just going to break down this cube to stone and kind of, I don't have a design plan other than whittle this down to something that will hold the gate. And yeah, I'm using packing foam that, you know, if you like little snowballs glued together, and that's not great. You know, after painting it, I think this kind of foam looks good. I've done a lot of projects. The big package of foam I found on the side of the road was good enough. I built a lot of stones out of this. It looked good. All right, so I'm going to create a little shelf here where the hands can go in. I'm going to switch my tool to something I can dig out a hole for this. Digging, just using this tool, this hook tool, to dig out a hole. That's awesome. I like that a lot. I'm going to paint this with some Mod Podge paint, black paint mix, but also I may put some sand over the top of it along with the Mod Podge mixing with sands, just like Elmer's glue. So then I want to create a pedestal with this in it. I'll just cut this out and just create a pedestal that'll sit on top of there. Now press the gate in so I have a shape. I know where it's going to stand. And there you have it. I think it'll look cool once I get everything together. Until next time. little extra work on the foam. All right, I decided to also use these wood skewers. I don't know where they came from. My wife handed me them and said, probably could use them. And I said, yep. I'm going to use those to stabilize the hands and stabilize this. So I got a couple of others that I can stick up inside it on the sides. And we'll use hot glue to go down inside it, and might use other glue on top, like Elmer's. Until next time. Another case of me crafting too fast and too furious to record every step, but you saw me cut these parts. I glued them together. I used dowels like this to secure these and the hands, and hot glue. Stuck the dowels up inside the hands, hot glued the dowels inside the hands, and then hot glued them inside the foam. One thing I made sure of was the hot glue wasn't too hot, that this foam will melt really quickly. So the next step, I took this assembly, covered it in black and Mod Podge. This is pretty secure now. These are good and secure too. This I can take in and out. Finished painting that as a blue with kind of an energy looking thing, so it's a great contrast to the rest of it. Then I decided it was just too light. Even after all the paint and all that, all the priming, it was still too light. So I cut a base for it, and it's just a chunk of wood that I used to use for spray painting. Rounded off, sanded it down, and hot glued this first, but then used the paper towels. You can barely see signs of paper towel on the bottom. Use the paper towel trick with Elmer's glue and a lot of water to just kind of merge the base, the bottom of this, into its base. So it just kind of a little bit more smoother, more natural looking. And while that was getting all together, I put more Mod Podge and more glue and covered it in sand. And let that dry, and that took a while. Put a layer of Territorial beige first, then washed it with black to give it a kind of a dark sandy base, is the intent. And then I sponged with gray, more of the Territorial tan, some burnt sienna, some nutmeg brown and brown oxide. Gave it a variance, and I found a really good paint for highlighting it on the edges, and it was called Beachcomber Beige. And so along the edges, I put just ever so slightly some of that. And it kind of blended in places, but I think it pops along the edges. I may put some more on now that's really gotten dry, because I want to make these pop a little bit more and the edges of this pop. So once I'm done, I'm going to take some more pictures, but this is the gate, and I'm going to use this in the Savage Blood Shadows adventure. I'm pretty proud of it. So until next time, seek the wolf in thyself.